All right, guys. So I was trying to think of doing something a little different tonight. I'll wait for some more people to get in here. All right, guys. Whoa, that's loud. Let's see. All right. So I don't know. I just wanted to talk about life. You know. So if anyone has any questions or thoughts or ideas or anything like that, definitely hit me up. And then tomorrow, whenever I get on, um, I'm wanting to do a challenge. I want to challenge everybody. And so tomorrow, uh, whenever I get on, I will have that challenge all together. And it's a very positive, positive challenge. Um, so that's what I kind of wanted to touch on tonight. Um, I don't know. It just seems like the more I look at society, the more disappointed I get. So, like, I've been noticing this like over the last 5 years or so, maybe a little bit longer than that. But every year it gets a little worse and worse and worse. Um, we have became such a negative society. We have. Just look at Facebook for a chance. You know, when you look at the posts on Facebook, you look at what people post, it's negative, 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 non-stop. And, more negativity just breeds more negativity. If you walk into a room and you're in a group and there's five people there besides you and all they're doing is talking trash on everything about the job, about life, about money, about marriage, kids, whatever, it's always with like a severe negative connotation with it. And you know, if you walk in there and you listen to that and you add more negativity to it, if you join in that negative conversation, then it just manifests. It continues to manifest. But now you take the same five people, same conversation, and you walk in and you're like and you go about it with a positive attitude, you will see a difference in those people. They will they will like they'll actually think about what you're saying because it's so different than what they've been complaining about for the last 30 minutes, and so they just uh, their attitude will change because even if you have five negative people and then you just throw in a curveball of positivity, it throws them, off their game. It takes their brain away from what they were talking about. And it gives them something to think about. I remember growing up and in school, we were told ask questions. There's no stupid question. Because if you don't know, you don't know, right? So either you can ask a question or you can not ask a question. But if you don't ask the questions, then you'll never know. You won't understand, right? We were told to question everything, question what the government says, question everything, because as much as the government says they have our interests at heart and it's for us and this and that, maybe some, but I guarantee you, not all. There are so many politicians or just people in the government that look at it as a way to benefit themselves and better themselves, and they take advantage of that. Now, I can't say that it wouldn't happen to me. Like if I got into politics and I got into the government, and I cannot say that I wouldn't turn into that because I'm not in that, and there's a lot of politicians that, when they get into politics, they get into it with a pure heart. They get into it with good intentions, and they really want to make a difference for their constituents. So, and then what happens is a lot of times you can't do it on your own. So you get bombarded with these special interest groups. Hey, we'll give you this money, and we'll help you with this and help you with that. Well, now they have you in their pocket. Um, because if you continue, because if when you, a lot of people when they first get into politics, they don't have any money, and so they use these special interest groups to fund whatever they want to do to help benefit us, but in return they got to do something for them, and then now it's a slippery slope. But I really don't want to get down into politics, so I just want to get in life. Um, we got to do better, people. We do. We have to do better. I live in a fairly small town. I think there's maybe 35,000 people. But we're surrounded by smaller towns that have, 3 to 6,000 people. Um, there was a 15-year-old that was murdered last weekend here, and like it's happening more and more. Crime is going up and up and up, and it's like people just, I remember growing up, and even in my 20s and 30s, like people valued life. They valued friendship. They valued family. That was a big deal. Um, and now, like these kids that are growing up, they don't value that. They have no values, and we got to do better. It's like, my parents, I guess they were boomers. I'm Gen X. My kids are Gen Z. But like there was like a generation in there. I don't know what happened. Um, I know the economy sucked, so both parents had to work and they couldn't afford a sitter, so they had to rely on family. If they didn't have family with them, they just left the kids at home alone. They had no supervision, and then they get into trouble. They have no guidance. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to, family. We need to get back to pride. We need to get back to love and thinking about other people. We have become such a selfish society, and I'm guilty too. All of us are guilty, you know. But that's just a society that we're in right now, and the only way that it can change is us. The government ain't going to change that. Your local government isn't going to change that. If you want change on how people treat each other, that starts with you. That starts with how you talk to people, how you treat people. You need to lead by example. It's just like when you have kids, they mirror you. They learn everything from you. Their attitude, their thoughts, their everything is learned from the people that are around. It's learned from the environment. It has nothing to do with anything but the environment. If you take a person, let's say from America, born here, you take them and you put them in another country um, like Afghanistan or Argentina or Mexico, like these countries that aren't strong and there's crime ridden, and that child is going to grow up different. They're going to be a different person than if they lived in a very peaceful um, environment. So it's no different than if you took a kid and put them in Chicago or some, farming town in BFE America. They're going to be completely different people by the time they get to an adulthood because they adapt to their environment. That's all of us. Even if you grew up in small town farm BFE America until you're 21, then you move to like LA or New York or Chicago or Detroit, it will change you. You will change who you are due to the environment. So, there was a saying when I was a kid and growing up, it takes a village, and it does. It takes a village, and it's everyone's responsibility, you know? The way you treat people, the way you talk to people, the way you act around people, that's your responsibility. It's my responsibility. It's my responsibility to teach my kids morals, right from wrong. You know, it's like it shouldn't take a catastrophic event to pull us together, like 9/11. I remember that day so vividly. I woke up, uh, turned on the TV, and it was a picture of one of the towers on fire. It was just smoking, and it was right after the plane hit. And so they're trying to figure out, they're scrambling around trying to figure out what's going on. And then the second plane hit, and then then there was the other two airplanes that were hijacked, and then you know, then and then after everything was said and done, like the communities came together for the people in New York. Um, why can't we do that every day? Why can't we do that every day? Why does it have to have a catastrophic event for us to come together? We're all people. We're all human. Doesn't matter where you come from, what color your skin is, what your sexuality is. None of that matters. Because inside, we're all the same. Our hearts are the same. Our lungs are the same. Our livers are the same. We bleed the same. If you stab me in the chest, it don't matter what color my skin is, I'm going to die. Because we're all the same. We need to we just need to stop bickering with all the bullshit. We need to stop, worrying about 90% of the stuff that we bicker about is shit that is on Facebook or the media. It really doesn't even involve us, but we let it. We have the control to stop it, and I don't know. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, my dad was military, so you want to talk about a melting pot? That's a melting pot growing up in the military, man, because you have every race, creed, color, sexuality, it don't matter. It's all there. And you all get along. So outside the military, I know it can happen. It just takes one person to make a difference, It takes one person to change the way they think, the way they treat people, you know. I'm not perfect. I have bad days, you know. It's just like I got pulled over last week and the cop was kind of an asshole to me, but it's like I don't know what his last call was. I don't know the last stop he had. He may have came from, a very bad accident. where it involved a kid. That kid was hurt, and he's all fucked up in his head now because of it. We don't know. Sometimes you just gotta shake it off, man. Like that 15-minute interaction, I could either let it ruin my day, and I could be just as a dick as that guy was to everybody, or I could shake it off and move on. You know? What good would it be for me to argue with this guy on the side of the road saying, "Hey, why are you being a dick for? Why are you being an asshole? Why are you treating me like this for?" You know? Um, was I speeding? Yeah. Give me the ticket. Let me go. You don't gotta be a you don't gotta be like that. Um, but the thing is, you don't know what they're going through either. You know, just like when you have a bad day, something happened at home. You lost your job, whatever it may be. You don't have any money, you don't have any food. You know, you don't know what the next person's going through. You may be having a great day, and then someone comes along and it's in a shitty mood. Have you ever asked them, "Hey, are you okay? What's wrong?" I guarantee you that if you ask them, "Hey, what's wrong? Why are you upset?" It would change their demeanor. I have an example. So, I was a death investigator for 5 years, and um, so I saw a lot of stuff, a lot of death, a lot of carnage, a lot of trauma, families going through the worst day of their life. And it was my shift was almost over. I worked the night shift, so I worked from 7 p to 7 a. I think it was about 5 a.m. My director came in, and I wasn't in uniform. I had my duty pants on, my duty shirt, and all that, all my gear and stuff. Um, but I didn't have any cases going on. I was just at the office. Nobody else was there, so I just had some slippers on. A little bit more comfortable than boots. And he came in and was just on it, man. He was on a tear. He yelled at me about wearing the slippers. He's like, why do we even buy you boots if you're not going to wear them? And this and that. And he he had a lot of back issues. And I kind of saw him kind of shuffling in. Like you could tell he was hurting. And he went to go get coffee. And on his way back in, I said, "Is your back hurting you today?" And just by saying that, his whole demeanor changed. He wasn't upset no more. We ended up sitting there and talking and bullshitting, joking around for the next 2 hours. You know, I could have let his attitude change me. I could have let his attitude cause me to have an attitude. I could have let his attitude cause me to get pissy with him. But where does that lead you? Where does that lead the situation? It just makes it worse, it does. It makes it worse, it, but by me recognizing that he was in pain and showing him that I cared and gave him some empathy, that changed everything. The next time that you're at a fast food restaurant, you're going through drive-through, the line's long, you're hungry, you're starting to get hangry, like fuck, this line's not even moving, and the cashier has a little bit of an attitude because they're busy, and she's probably been yelled at 1,000 times before you got there. When you get up to that window, ask them how their day was. How's your day going? Oh, it's bad, huh? I hope it gets better for you. And see how that changes them. You know, it's not hard. It's not. You can let everyone else's attitude affect you every day, or you can just move on from it. You know, If you look at society today, we allow people into our lives that are negative. They have nothing nice to say. They're always having an attitude. But we allow them into our lives and we allow them to control our happiness. Myself, no one can is in control of my happiness but myself. If I'm unhappy because of what other people are doing, I'm allowing them to control my happiness. I can stop it by not allowing them to interfere with my happiness. And honestly, I mean that's what we're here. I mean, we're here to live and to be happy and enjoy life. You know, we look at life every day like, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, blah 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 blah. Stop and look around, man. Look at what is around you. Look at the beauty around you that's on this earth. It's fall. I live in Missouri, so the leaves are changing and it's beautiful. You know, like it's nothing like it's like a masterpiece that God created, man. You know, like I don't know, you know, about any of you guys, but I am a believer. I believe in God. I believe that Jesus died on the cross for my sins. Um, and I try to live my life as best as I can, as best as, I try to live my life according to the Bible. I'm not perfect, so I make mistakes. I judge people. I prejudge people all the time. That's probably my biggest flaw is that I prejudge people and I don't give people the benefit of the doubt. But like I was saying, me prejudging someone, that's wrong because I'm not looking at their life. I'm not asking them, "Hey, how are you doing, man? Like, what's going on in your life?" You know? They may have made some bad decisions and now they're financially jacked up. So they can't afford the nice things. So they may have to wear hand me down or clothes, or holy jeans or whatever. But why should I judge somebody else for what they wear? It doesn't affect my life at all. It doesn't affect my bank account. If they're happy, let them be, man. You know? It's kind of like when you go back to high school, and you meet a girl, you like her, you think she's cute or whatever, you guys hit it off, and you start dating, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatnot. And one of your friends like, man, she's a dog, dude. Like, she's ugly. Why? Why say that shit? To me, she's not. So we have different tastes. Fuck you. That's not a friend. If a friend's gonna talk shit on your girl or a guy, let's say you're a girl and you meet this guy and he lights up your life. You think he's the hottest thing, and he treats you good and he makes you feel good and you're always smiling, you're happy. And when your girlfriend comes up, I'm like, "Ah, I know him. He's a douche. He's ugly or he's too skinny or he's too fat or whatever. Why? You're not with them. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? That's not a friend. Because a friend's going to be there with you no matter what. If you're happy, that's all that fucking matters. To family or friends, that's all it should matter. If you're happy, that's all it should matter. If you live in a house that's only worth 50 grand, but you're happy, it's your house. If someone complains about it, oh man, your house is too small. All right, buy me a bigger one then. If you don't like the house that I live in, then you buy me a bigger one because this is all I can afford and this is all I have. That's not a friend, man. A friend's like, congrats, man, you got a house. You're a homeowner now. You're building money, you're investing money, your own money to build money later with that investment. That $50,000 house, your payments are like what, 300, $400, if that. you know. And then when you get into a situation where you're financially better and you could afford a better house, you can keep that one and rent the bitch out. Now you're making more money. Don't let other people control what you do. Don't let other people dictate how you live your life. If you're happy and you're living your life, the best that you can and you treat people good, that's all that fucking matters. That's all that matters. You know? There's a lot of things I see on Facebook lately, which, it's like you don't know what the other person's going through. Give them some grace, you know? It's like if you have a coworker that's always there busting their ass, and all of a sudden, like, last 2 weeks, they seemed lazy. They're not doing their work. They're making mistakes all the time. Obviously, that's not them because you already know them. You've worked with them for so long that you know that that's not them. Instead of going to your other coworker and trash talking that person, go up to them and ask them, "Hey, is everything okay? Everything good at home? You doing okay? I just noticed that you've been different. You've been kind of off lately." You'd be amazed at the effect you will have on someone. That's what we're here for, right? Like, if that person is struggling with something at home, financial, kids, whatever it is, but you know that they're better than that because you've worked with them for years, offer them some help. Hey, what can I do to make your day better? What can I do to help you out? Do you want me to double check your work? Do you want me, to give you some assistance? Like, I'm doing good over here. I can take some of your work if you want to kind of free you up a little bit. You'd be amazed at how that will affect that person in a positive way. And then whenever you have a bad day, or you have a bad week, a bad season, a bad month, those people that you've been helping when they were down will come to help you. It's just like, with your friends, you help them out because they help you out. That's why they say it takes a village, because you're not 100% every day and you may need help. And it's okay to ask for help. For some reason, we got into this mindset that you can't ask for help. You're weak. If you ask for help. You're not strong if you ask for help. You're a little bitch if you ask for help. No, you're not. I need help every day. My wife needs help every day. My kids needs help every day. My parents need help every day. My family needs, my friends, everybody needs help. And it has nothing to do with pride. Am I prideful? Am I proud of myself? Am I proud of where I came from and where I am now? Hell yeah. But I also know I need help. I can't do all this shit on my own. You can't, I can't, we all can't. You know? But like all it takes is one person to change someone's day. You know? If you're at a store, you bump into someone, you see someone, we can read people to see if they're having a good day. You can tell if someone's having a bad day. You know? If you're at Walmart or whatever store you're at shopping, and you see someone and they just do not look like they're having a good time, just walk up to them and say, I hope you have a good day today. Hope your day gets better. And you don't have to have a conversation with them. Just say hi. How you doing today? I hope it gets better. And keep on moving, man. Just that will change someone's day. You know? And if you change their day, It's a chain, man. You change their day, they're not gonna, they may be in a better mood, or they might be a little happier. You may take a little bit of that anxiety and stress away from them for a little bit, and then they could bump into someone that's having a bad day too, and then they're like, you know what, that made me feel better, so I'm gonna ask them how they're doing and wish them a better day, and it just spreads, man. Just like negativity spreads, so does positivity. So does love, man. Hate spreads fast, but love spreads faster. Negativity spreads, but positivity spreads faster. You know. And there's one more thing I want to talk about, and then we'll get to some gameplay. The last thing I want to talk about is opinions, people's opinions. I have an opinion. You have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. Your opinion may line up with mine. Your opinion may not line up with mine. You know, my opinion may not line up with yours. And that's okay. We don't have to agree on everything. But it seems like in society today, if you do not agree with me, then you're a piece of shit and you're an idiot. No, I just have a different opinion. That's it. You know, we may agree on something different somewhere else, you know. Just because we have a difference in opinion, whatever the topic is, it doesn't matter. The topic does not matter. But I see it on social media every day. Someone posts their opinion about something. For example, uh, who the GOAT is in the NBA. There's a lot of great ball players in the NBA, past, present. There's a lot. My opinion is, uh, I don't think there's one GOAT, to be honest. I think because like you have Michael Jordan, phenomenal basketball player. My favorite, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. Those are my two favorite basketball players. Mainly for their on-court presence and off-court presence. They were really great people out off the court. I have never heard of anyone say I ran into Larry Bird and he was a dick. I ran into MJ and he was a dick. Never heard of it. Um, but they're human, so they will make mistakes. Just like you, just because they're making millions of dollars a year and they're in front of a camera and they're famous across the planet. Everybody knows who Michael Jordan is. Just because they're that famous, it doesn't mean they're perfect. They still make bad choices. They still make mistakes, you know? But like you hear like people get so offended if you say I don't think LeBron James is the goat of basketball, you know? Um, they get so offended by that, and then they start calling you names, and they will like threaten to beat you up or kill you or whatever, just because I think Michael Jordan is a better ball player than fucking LeBron James. Are you serious? You're willing to take someone's life or physically hurt someone because they have a different opinion than you? Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, that's the kind of bullshit that I'm talking about. And it gets even worse when you talk about politics. They're all crooked, you know? So it's like there's crooked Republicans, there's crooked Democrats, there's crooked people in politics because there's just crooked people out there. There's bad cops. Doesn't mean all of them are bad. They're people, they're human. They make mistakes. They were raised different than you or me, you know? Like, it's kind of like racism. You're not born with racism. It's taught. So the people that are racist or have these ill feelings towards someone of a different color or different ethnicity or background, they were taught that. You know, it's not their fault. it's the people that taught them's fault, right? So if you come into contact with someone who is racist, have a conversation with them. Why? Why do you hate this ethnicity? Why do you hate this group over another group? Why? What about this group is it that offends you? Oh, well, my dad, he told me this. Okay, have you experienced anything bad from these people? Well, no. Then why do you hate them? Because your dad had a bad experience? Your dad grew up in a different time, you know? Especially like my dad was born in 45. My mom was born in 54. But my folks are from the north, and they're from Wisconsin. And so like I'm sure, I mean racism is everywhere, but where they grew up, it was very like it was a farming community, small towns. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody, like they didn't hate anyone because of where they came from. If someone didn't like somebody, it's because of their character, and that was it. I didn't know what racism was until I was in my teens, because it wasn't taught to me. I wasn't taught to not like another person because of what they look like. I was taught to love everyone, no matter what they look like, no matter where they come from, no matter what their life story is. That's what I was taught, and that's what I try to teach my kids. I'll give you a story. So it was like I think it was 87, 1987. We moved to North Carolina, and it was Wilmington, North Carolina, and I wore a shirt to school. It was a gray shirt, and it had a Confederate flag on it. I didn't know anything about the Confederate flag. I was 12, 11. I just liked it because I liked the show The Dukes of Hazards, and that was on the top of the car. I didn't know what it represented or what people thought about it. I thought it was a cool car. Went off some big jumps. They tore up a lot of cars. It was fast. It was cool. It had that cool horn. Um, and Daisy Duke was nice to look at too. But this girl came up to me and she's like, "Why do you hate black people?" I was like, "What are you talking about? I don't hate black people." She's like, "Yeah, you do. You're wearing that shirt." I'm like, "The shirt doesn't mean I hate black people. The shirt just I like Dukes of Hazards, I like the car." And then so she explained to me what that flag meant to her. I never wore that shirt again to school. I don't think I ever wore it again, to be honest, because I didn't want to hurt someone's feelings. Because that meant something to me. Because she was a friend, and she was black, and it hurt her that I wore that shirt. It offended her. So out of respect for her, I didn't wear it again. You know, I did. I could have worn it again, but I chose not to because I didn't want to hurt someone's feelings. And I think that we've gotten away from that. You know, we only think about our own feelings. If someone's like, it it's like when the high school I went to, it was kind of rednecky, so you know, and it was predominantly white. It was a farming community, but we did have a mix of every ethnicity there. We had people from the Middle East. We had Samoans. We had Hispanics. We had black people. We had um, every race, pretty much. We had Asian people. We had everyone there. I mean, but it was predominantly white. Um, and that was like in the mid 90s, and so like the movie Malcolm X came out, so a lot of people would wear the Malcolm X shirts. Well, then you'd have some redneck that would wear um, a shirt with the Dixie flag on it, the Confederate flag, and it had something on it. It said something like "You wear your X, I'll wear mine" or something like that. Why? What's the purpose? To stir up shit. That's the purpose. That's the only purpose I can see. To stir up shit. Why? There's no need for it. There's no need for it. Is what I'm saying. There's no need for any of that. And just look how people talk to one another, especially like on social media. Those people are bitches because they won't say shit in real life. They won't say that shit to your face. Some will, but most of them won't. They're keyboard warriors or keyboard bullies or whatever you want to call them. I don't mind. Don't pay any attention to them. You can let it affect your day because they'll go in and they'll scroll through your pictures and they'll talk shit on your family or your wife, girlfriend, or whatever. You can allow that to affect your day, or you can be like, "You're not worth my time," and you can just move on. You can block them. You can do whatever. You don't have to let them control your attitude. When you start taking control of your attitude, you'll see a big change in your life and you'll see a change in the people around you. I promise. I know I went rambling on about some stuff, but the main thing is that I can have an opinion that's different than yours, and you can have an opinion that's different than mine, and that's okay. It is okay. Um, I remember when, you know, in 20 was it no 2016 when Trump was in office when he got elected. The year before the election was pretty intense. I lost a lot of friends because my opinion didn't align with theirs. Well, if you can only be my friend if we have the same opinion, then we're not friends anyways. You know? Um, People get wrapped up, they get sucked in. Don't. You don't. You have the control to get sucked in or not. I get sucked in, and I don't realize until afterwards. I'm like, damn, they got me. I was a dick. I turned into a dick. They got me. Um, but that's my choice. That's your choice. We don't have to. If someone had, I mean, could you imagine how boring this world would be if everybody was the same? If my opinion is different than yours, and we have an actual conversation regarding that topic, you may change my mind. I may see it from your point of view. I'm like, you know what? I agree with you. Or vice versa. I may give you my opinion and why I feel the way I feel. And you can be like, you know what? I agree with that. I don't believe it, but I can agree with it. You know? It's kind of like what's that guy? Steven Crowder. He does the change my mind stuff. I don't know if anyone's ever changed his mind, but just watching those YouTube videos and seeing how angry people get because you have a different opinion. It's crazy. Like they get violent because you have a different opinion. I mean, can you imagine like if we allow this to continue to happen, how far it will manifest? So right now it's like a current event topic is what people mainly, really get heated about. But what if it's not something that's like a hot topic? What if it's something that you just don't like food? I don't like liver. And what if someone I don't know, loves liver? Like he eats it once a week. I eat steak. I love steak. Not everybody loves steak. What if, I'm like, oh man, this is the best steak I've ever had. This is so juicy. It's so good. Just the blood runs down my mouth. Oh, it's so delicious. And someone's like, fuck you, man. Liver's better. And you're like, that's your opinion, bro. Like, I don't like liver. I like steak. And then it becomes a confrontation. Like, I can see that happening. Because it does happen. People get into fights over the most stupidest shit that has no meaning. No meaning. Um, a lot of the stuff that we deal with on a day-to-day basis is meaningless. Regardless of how it happened, it wouldn't change or alter your life or your day at all. But we let it. So I'm going to end on that and say I wish all of you nothing but the best. I will keep you all in my prayers, and I hope each and every one of you has a blessed life. That's my goal. That's what I want for you. And that's what I kind of want to. That's kind of my goal for this channel is I want to give back. So right now I did a raffle when I got 50 followers for $50. So I did a random drawing of all the people that followed me from day 1 to 50, except for friends and family, of course. So I think there was like a total of like 30 people that was in the raffle, and I gave away $50. And so when I get 100 followers, I'll give away $100. When I get 150, $150. Like, and it'll just keep going up. And I would love to like call someone up, like, hey, you won the raffle, 10 grand, brother or sister. 10 grand to you, just for following me and watching me. That's it. That's all you got to do. The more money I make, the more I can give away. That's what I want to do. I want to make an impact in people's lives that need it. Because there's so many people out there that are struggling financially, and COVID kind of hurt a lot of people financially, and it's going to take them a long time to get back to where they were. If I can help one person, 2 people, 3 people, I mean, that's my goal. Yeah, we all want to make money. We all want to have the nice things. It would be awesome if I was making $1 million a year or whatever. But as long as I make enough money to pay my bills and I can give money back to people that are following me, because it's you that is giving me this opportunity to make this money, to do something that I have a passion for, and have a good time, and I want to communicate with people who are watching me, like that's what I want, and if I can make someone's day a little bit better, then I'll be happy. That what better reward than changing someone's life. I've gone on 2 mission trips with my church. We go to Mississippi. We went in April and October of last year, and then they went again in this October, but it was my anniversary that week. So my wife would have been very upset if I would have went. But so but where they go, it's a program for men that have an addiction issue, whether it be drugs or alcohol. Um, and I didn't really grow up around a lot of that. Um, I mean, we had alcoholics in our family, but not like drugs, like serious drugs, like coke, crack, meth, whatever, heroin. But like these guys, I mean, they were like, meth heads. Like that was their addiction, was meth or alcohol. and they'll do good for a little bit and then they get in trouble. And so this is kind of like almost like a diversion type program where a lot of the guys are looking at some serious jail time, and the people that run the program, they go to court for the men, and they have a good the program has a good relationship with the courts and the judges, and so they know it's a good program, and they know they help a lot of people, and if they can keep someone from going to jail and changing their life for the better, it's worth it. And so, um, like I remember before we went down the first time, I didn't know. I just knew these guys were, they're some of them are right out of prison. Some of them are, you know, have the fear of going to prison. And so you prejudge these people. You try to like have a visual of what you think it's going to be like down there, and and these guys, they're just like me and you. You know, they are. They're no different than me and you. They just made a bad choice. You know, some people have addictive personalities. It doesn't matter if it's drugs or soda or food or sex or video games or TV or whatever. Like some people, they just have addictive personalities. And if they see it every day growing up, there's a very highly likelihood that they'll be doing the same thing. Because, like I said earlier, everything we do is learned. It's a learned behavior from our environment. You know, so, but it made me very humble because all the stories these guys were telling me about, drinking or marijuana. A lot of them are marijuana charges, but um, that could have been me because I've drank too much and I thought I could drive home. Luckily, I didn't cause an accident. Luckily, I didn't get pulled over. But I could have been in the same situation that these guys are in. I smoked marijuana in high school, and in my adult life. Now it's legal where I live medically, but before it wasn't. So I have insomnia. I can't sleep at night. I have severe back problems. I'm in pain 24/7. Normal pharmaceuticals don't work. They make me feel like a zombie. They do stuff to my heart. They make my heart feel weird, make my head feel weird. But I can smoke a little bit of weed and take an edible before I go to bed, and I will sleep all night, and I have zero pain. I've never taken a pharmaceutical that does that. And the side effects of marijuana are very, 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 very few compared to all the other pharmaceuticals. Now, I will tell you guys this. I've been in healthcare for quite some time, and if you're under the age of 25, you should really think about what you do, what you put in your body, because your brain is still growing, it's still maturing, it's still developing until you're about 24, 25. Anything that you do before the age of 24, 25 can have an impact on how your brain will work later in life with memory and stuff like that. So, just like I have two kids, well, I have four kids actually. There's two 24-year-olds, one's mine, one's my wife's. And then we have a 13-year-old and a 20-year-old. Two are mine, two are hers from previous marriages. Um, and I've told them the same thing. You know, I don't think marijuana should be illegal. It's no different than alcohol or tobacco. It's actually you have less physical damage to your body with marijuana than you do with any other stimulant. Um, so I would just say if you want to do that, really think about it and try not to do it until you're at least 24, 25, or in getting close to your mid 20s, just so that you don't hinder yourself later. Um, but I could have been in jail. I could have gone to jail for drinking. I could have gone to jail for marijuana. I tried meth when I was 18 or 19. I could have got popped. You know, the first time I did, you know, luckily I just never got addicted to that stuff. I don't have a addictive personality, except for tobacco. I do chew, and that is probably the hardest thing that I have ever tried to quit is tobacco. Alcohol, no problem. I can quit that today. I don't ever have to have a drink again. Weed, yeah. I haven't smoked in 3 days, 4 days, and I've been smoking or doing some type of marijuana for the last 3 or 4 years. I just don't have that addictive personality, but some people do. Some people like they'll try marijuana. Well, I like it, and then they go to a party and someone's got meth or heroin or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, I like this, so maybe I like that." You know, but then they try coke or meth or heroin or whatever, and it's cut with fentanyl. Minutes later, you're calling 911 because your buddy is convulsing on the floor, vomiting and foaming at the mouth and going into cardiac arrest. You know, um, so that's all I'm going to say about that. That's my life speech for tonight. If you guys enjoy this and have other topics you'd like to talk about, definitely say something. Send me a whisper if I'm not online or whatever. If you watch this, um, later on, like after I'm off or whatever, um, send me a whisper. Hey, what do you think about this? Give me your opinion on that. I would love to talk to anybody about anything. Um, I just like talking. But we'll end there, and we'll get to playing. Okay.